Happy resurrection. Oh, wow. I'm so glad to be here to celebrate it with you. Kathy is a remarkable orchestrator. She makes it sound like this was a build-up to me. Everything that we've experienced here is what I'm going to say. Which means I'm going to say everything that's been experienced here. There's a perfection in this, as there is in every moment, isn't there? I'm not Christian. Never touched it. That's not a judgment, it just didn't fit with me at all. Had to do with guilt, fear, terror actually, of going to hell forever. No. Never touched it. But there's a good side to it. Jesus is the good side. I ask you not to take anything that I say as so because I say it. If I say anything that you resonate with, take it into your life and experiment with it. And if you like what it produces, experiment some more. And if you don't, let it go. An angel came into my awareness about 40 years ago. And it's been guiding me ever since. Not telling me what to do. Can't do that. Wouldn't do that. Could not do that. No one except I can be responsible for what I choose. But always helping me to see my experiences in a way that helped me become more compassionate and wise and loving. So what's this got to do with resurrection? This angel told me about, this was in the late 80s, a huge transformation in human consciousness, unprecedented and epic, that is taking place now, fast. The difference between the old consciousness and the new consciousness is great in every way. The old consciousness was limited to the 5 senses. You can't see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, doesn't exist. The new consciousness is not limited to the 5 senses. The old consciousness saw power as manipulation and control. We needed it to survive. The new consciousness sees power as alignment of the mortal part of yourself with the immortal part of yourself. In the West, we call that soul. Don't confuse that with Christianity again. It just means the immortal part of yourself, which is a way of saying, from what I learned and what I experienced, we are powerful and creative, compassionate and loving spirits. From the old consciousness, when you're born, that's the beginning of your life. And when you die, that's the end of your life. It's a disaster. From the new consciousness, your life didn't begin when you were born, and it's not going to end when you die, when your personality dies. Life is a book that began when you were born. It's a chapter. Your soul's got the book. Does that mean you should talk to your soul and find out what's in the book? You are your soul. Now, in the larger new consciousness, the general pattern is this. Souls are in eternity. They're in non-physical reality, but don't let that make you think there's somewhere else we could be. There's no elsewhere. Use the words. And souls choose, some of them, not all of them, choose to learn in this domain of physicalness, of time, space, matter, duality, and fear. And so they're born. They were in non-physical reality. I'm using language that doesn't go where you are, but maybe it'll point that way. So now they choose to be born, and now they're in this domain, and they experience choice, and love, and they suffer. God, do they suffer? That's another way of saying, God, us, do we suffer? Yes. Why? Well, it has a purpose. There's a reason for suffering. The Buddha, by the way, said this quite a while ago. He said, there is suffering. Thanks. We knew that. He said, there's a reason for suffering. So, oh, this is more interesting. It's not just God's will, whatever that means. Desire is the cause of suffering. Well, in the new consciousness, we excavate the word desire. Because we can see that we are personalities as well as souls. And every personality has frightened parts. That means parts that originate in fear and parts that originate in love. And the parts that originate in fear hurt. Try it out sometime. That was really flippant and unnecessary. Have you ever experienced jealousy? Have you ever experienced heartbreak? Have you ever experienced anxiety, overwhelm, need to please, entitlement? God, those hurt. These are all the parts of our personalities that originate in fear. But we came to the Earth School as souls to learn and experience love. How do you do that? You say, I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be loving. Damn it, I'm going to be loving. Won't work. The only way that I know is to find all of the parts of your personality that prevent you from loving, experience them fully, and then choose not to be controlled by them while you're experiencing them. That's the new power. So,
he can't do anything back there. Maybe move the mic, if he's done everything back there.
I've got an idea. Come closer. Sit right here. Or otherwise, put up with not hearing. It's your choice. No, can everyone else hear me? Okay? No. How about didn't work?
It's muted. There you go.
Okay, where do you want me to start again? So, where was I in the big story? Non-physical, reality, soul, powerful, creative. That comes later in the story. That comes after the soul incarnates. That's the Earth School. Sort of, but I'll remember, okay? So you're in the Earth School. You suffer. Why? Because desire hurts. Desire is another word in 2026 for attachment. Whatever you're attached to and you don't get and you want to get and you think you can't live without, or you have and you think you're going to lose or someone's going to take it, all of that hurts. That's pure pain. And when that's fear. Fear and attachment are the same thing. And when you're in one, fear, you can't experience love. That's the other duality in the Earth School. And when you're in love, you can't remember what fear is like. It's not there anymore. And it never has been. That's what you learn in the Earth School. If you don't learn it, don't worry. You get another chance. You're not here as a punishment. You're not here as a reward. You're not here because you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. You're here to learn. And what do you learn? That there is a connection between your intentions and the experiences that you create for yourself. So when you choose love instead of choosing fear, it's not choosing the right thing or the wrong thing. It's choosing the experience that you're going to create for yourself. It's that simple. There's no sense of accomplishment. There's nothing except I'm tired of suffering. And I'm going to love. But now a frightened part comes up again and you suffer again. You can't choose what you're going to feel next, but you can always choose what you're going to do when you feel it. That's where the power comes. That's the power that we have. And then you go home. Your personality dies. Your soul goes home and discards the personality, and it's back in non-physical reality again. Can you see any connection between that dynamic that is eternal and this myth, this beautiful story from Christianity called resurrection? Let me go through it again. This time, temporarily, from the Christian perspective. There's this entity. It comes from heaven. It's not quite God, pretty close. God's Son. That's a tight relationship. The entity incarnates. It's born. This is a big thing in this story. There's stars. There's wise people. They're coming to celebrate. This is the entrance of this energy into the earth school. And in the earth school, this incarnate being learns, and he suffers. Everyone suffers. Look at the foundational / mythological / genuine hero at the heart of every religion. Suffering. Temptation. Ooh, where did that come from? Temptation. Well, let's look at that for a minute, because that has a big part of what suffering is. Suffering, temptation, is the gracious dynamic of the universe that brings from your consciousness negativity in you into your awareness so that you can see it clearly before you act on it and create consequences, which is called karma in the East. In other words, temptation is not created. Here we part from Christianity again. It's not created. I don't really have a thing with Christianity. I used to have a big thing. I just want to point out these differences. From that perspective, which about 2 billion people on the earth are experimenting with now, temptation is created outside of you. It's a malevolent entity outside of you, like the devil made me do it. No, the devil did not make you do it. There isn't a devil. There's nothing apart from you. So this radically different understanding of temptation creates a radically different way of dealing with it. A temptation is a dress rehearsal for a negative karmic event. It is a masterpiece of a frightened part of your personality. That is, you are seeing, and it's full color, touchy-feely. It really is good. If you want to have sex with someone who's in a relationship that they've agreed you shouldn't be doing that, oh, she'll feel so good. You can't imagine what this is going to be like. In fact, you can, because I'm presenting it to you. This is my masterpiece. That's the temptation. And you can decide whether you're going to act on that, because the frightened part of your personality that intends to do this is showing you exactly what it's going to do if you don't intervene. And if you do, you save yourself a lot of pain. But that's not a punishment. You learn from it. You learn from the pain. We learn from everything. There's no one here that hasn't had things in their life that they don't want to even think about, or things that are so shameful or painful that they don't want to be from there. The last thing they want to do is share them. This is life in the earth school. So now we're back to what we're doing. We are souls incarnating into the earth school, learning love through our choices, and then going home again. We die. Now does anyone see any connection at all or similarity or resonance with this story of resurrection? Wow, how could I not see it? We're doing that. That's not Christ's story. That's our story. Well, wait a minute, who's Christ? The new consciousness brings a new awareness in many ways to us, and one of them is that there's no other. There is one, and all is that. I asked my angel once, my angel, no proprietary interest here. The blessing of this communication, I ask, are you and I the same? And it said, yes, we're the same. So now we've got all this thing we've been singing about, the living Christ in me. So that according to that, there's me, and then there's the living Christ. Now I'm here, and when I'm holy or do whatever I need to do, pray, or really get in the energy of it, the living Christ comes alive in me. That's not the new consciousness. That is a creation of the old consciousness. The new consciousness is you are that. Ooh. I don't want to be pointing, but this is the main point of the talk. You are that. There's no living Christ in you. You are living. You are, if you want to put a name on it, Christ. If you want to put a name on it, Gary Zukav or Sarah or Kathy. In other words, in the old consciousness, there's this uncrossable bridge between in here and out there. That's not a part of the new consciousness. So from the old consciousness, it's absurd to think that you can change the world by changing yourself. I said, really? There's you and there's 8 billion more people. What are you going to do to change the world in yourself? Everything. Because from the new consciousness, there is no difference between you and the world. Your creative capacity is unlimited. And so is your responsibility for what you use it to create. Now, that's the big picture. What about, how do I say it? Let's get more granular. You, I, we experience a temptation. We experience a frightened part of our personality, anger. I know a lot about anger. I used to be angry for most of my life. I used to be proud of it. So you feel a frightened part of your personality come up. And when you develop the emotional awareness, and you can, this is called part of creating authentic power, you can identify painful physical sensations in your body that come with anger, or jealousy, or heartbreak, like I was saying earlier. And you'll notice when that happens that your thoughts, its thoughts, are always critical and judgmental. Like, I'm so stupid. She's so stupid. That's what a frightened part thinks. You can't change it. It's no sense trying to surrender to it, embrace it, heal it, celebrate it. No, just experience it. That's where the courage and commitment comes in. And then suppose, wow, you're doing that. Wow, you can't barely resist the temptation to tell somebody what a jerk they are. And you decide not to do it. Because that's a frightened part of your personality, and you recognize it. It's not coming from love, it's coming from fear. And it's going to create painful consequences for you. And you decide not to do it. And you decide to remember a time when you were loved and loving, and you knew it, how you felt. There the physical sensations feel good. There the thoughts are always of gratitude or appreciation or patience or contentment or awe of the universe. And you decide to speak or act from that loving part while you're experiencing the frightened part. Resurrection, that's it. Every moment. You think you only get tempted now and then? Mm-hmm. Take another look. Having any reactions to me? Well, maybe some of you are saying, right on. And maybe others are saying, come on. Whatever it is, you are experiencing yourself. Every perception reveals the structure of the perceiver, not the perceived. Every judgment that you have shows you. Every blessing that you appreciate shows you. And when you choose to lift yourself out of the darkness of anger, rage, fear, the sexual addictive energy current, the need to gamble, the need to eat again, the need for a fix, any kind of fix, to stop the pain, instead of experiencing the pain so that you can consciously become intimate with it and then choose not to be controlled by it. Anytime you do that, you decide to choose love. Resurrection. It happened again. Will there come a time when we won't feel pain anymore in the earth school? No. Because to be in the earth school and to have a body, a personality, is the same thing. And every personality has got frightened parts and loving parts. The frightened parts will always feel the way they do. Jealous, angry, despairing, resentful, superior, inferior, overwhelmed. So you don't have to change them. They are parts that your soul gave to your personality when a part of it, not your entire soul, but a part of it incarnated into the earth school. And those are the parts that you can challenge with your free will. And only you can challenge. And as you do, that is how you contribute to the evolution of your soul. Oh, what a beautiful picture this is. It's a good thing we like it because this is the way it is. Yeah. Now, what happens if you don't like it? It's still the way it is. And you suffer. Now we're back to the Buddha. Now we're back to ourselves. Everything that Kathy orchestrated prior to my being here says this message. I remember when I was a girl at church, the priest did this, the priest did that. It's all changed now because everything is holy now. Resurrection. Every smile, every hug that comes from the heart, not manipulation. Every gift of the heart. Resurrection. Every tenderness where there was judgment. Every gratitude where there was resentment. Resurrection. Happy resurrection. This is a time to celebrate. That's what this beautiful story, myth, explains. It doesn't explain anything, it shows it. Well, let's see if we can make the myth, the story, connect with a new consciousness even better. Well, from my perspective, you can't. They are the same. You are a powerful and creative, compassionate and loving spirit. I know I said that before, but that's what you are. And as a soul, a part of you incarnated, that was a dramatic calibration of your power. to the experiences of time, space, matter, and duality. And in that, you learned. When you fly, when you experience resurrection, you learn from it. When you fall, you experience pain, and you learn from it. Nothing that happens to you in the Earth School doesn't have a reason for happening, and that reason is your spiritual growth. Once you see that, there's joy. Once you see that, like one of my idols in psychology, William James once said, "No wind can blow that does not fill your sails." Resurrection. So thank you, Kathy, for inviting me and allowing me to say again what you have said, what Daniel has shared, what Lark has sung, what we have all sung. All of those words, all of those intentions have to do with replacing fear with love. And by the way, it's not a prayer. Here's another difference between the old consciousness and the new. From the old consciousness, prayer is a plea. Sometimes it's a bargain. Never works. It's always a plea, like, "Oh, God, please don't let her leave me. Don't let my child die. Don't let my grandmother die. Please, 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 please." And then you really are on your knees, shrunk to nothing. And that's celebrated in Christianity. Victim. Pleading, please. That's not prayer from the new perspective of the new consciousness. From the perspective of the new consciousness, prayer is co-creation. You sense the universe as an interested presence and a source of wisdom with which you can co-create the optimal circumstances in the earth scroll for you to create authentic power. That's multi-sensory prayer. It's co-creation. Life in the earth scroll is co-creation. Now, there's still that one flaw in all of this that I've said. There's life in the earth scroll and there's co-creation. Every time you say this and that, you are missing the point. The point is, there is one, and all is that. Well, you might say, "I'm really glad I'm you. I'm glad I'm not you." Again, there's a you and a you. Our new consciousness is taking us far beyond the initial big headliner, which is the movement beyond the old consciousness and into the new consciousness. It's taking us into the next step. The next step we can't describe, and it can't be described, but we can feel it, and it's already part of human experience. That's the universal human. The universal human is beyond culture, it's beyond nation, it's beyond religion, it's beyond gender, it's beyond ethnic group. A universal human. The allegiance of a universal human is to life first and everything else second. So I'd say I'm a male. I'll say it this way. My allegiance is to life first and a male second. My allegiance is to life first and a grandfather second. My allegiance is to life first and an American second. My allegiance is to life first and everything else second. A universal human is an adult citizen of the universe, not a child of the universe. A universal human emerges from authentically powerful multisensory humans, and they are beginning to emerge now. And we celebrate them. So, there is no so, and there's also no end to so's. There is only now. What are you going to do now? Don't waste your time thinking about the future. It's not going to come. When it comes, where are we now? Now. Where are we going to be if there were a future and it came? Now. There will always be a now. I asked the angel once, I said, what can I do about this part of me that always wants what it doesn't have? And the angel said, confront it each time it comes up. Because it's leaking power it's leaking energy to a future that doesn't exist yet. Come back to now. That's the portal. The portal to where? Well, I could say eternity. But what if you are eternity? What is a portal? You don't need it anymore. That's something you go through. It's something that's different from you. There's you and there's a portal, and you go through that. You see what I mean? That's language. Well, we've got to speak. I tell the people I love them all the time. You can take that any way you want. I love them all the time, and then I tell them I love them all the time. But those are just words. Well, I'll just leave you with this thought too. So don't try to tie up the loose ends or make this all fit. You can't. That's because the only part of you that's trying to do that is your intellect. And your intellect wasn't designed to do that. It wasn't designed for the new consciousness. Your intellect was designed to work with the five senses. It surveys five sensory data. And it assesses those data that are most helpful to you in the pursuit of external power. That's manipulation and control. And that's now what produces only violence and destruction. Your intellect can't comprehend or communicate the new consciousness. You try to make it that, you're like a carpenter saying, well, I've got to cut this board. All I've got's a screwdriver. Well, here goes. It's not going to work. That's what happens when your intellect says, oh, no, that was inconsistent. Not only was that inconsistent, that was even more than a paradigm shift. That was saying, take both dimes off the table, take the table. What's left? You. Now, we could either love it or fear it, which is the same as hate it. Whoa, I'm back to where I began this talk. Choosing love. That's your experience, not because you should, because sooner or later you will, because it's too painful not to, and that's how the earth school works. Without instruction, without reward, without punishment, without direction, each soul incarnate as a personality learns for themselves. That is the earth school. That is the new consciousness come alive in us. Where is this epic, unprecedented transformation of human consciousness? Show it to me. No, there's a detour out there. It can't be that. It's in you. That's where it's happening. Don't look for it anywhere else. Every time this angel speaks with me, he doesn't tap me on the shoulder and say, here, listen up. I ask. And what I ask is important. So your questions are important. But at the end of every talk that I have with this angel, the angel ends the same way. He says, enjoy yourself. All is perfect. It took me half a century to begin to grasp that. I thought he was signing off, like, I'm done now, we'll talk again later. This is the way I say, this is the end of our conversation. It's not. It's not. I told the angel once, it was after Linda's soul went home. You know, I think it was then. Anyway, it was at a time of great confusion and pain. I said, I'm at the end of my life. And the angel said, no, Gary. You're approaching the beginning. So are you.